We were pretty famous back in high school.
Trust us. Had a whole future ahead of us, but now we suck.
All that potential now is flowing in the aqueducts.
Through the sands of time, many did forget.
But now our time has come to resurrect. But a podcast.
Sad I know, but can you blame us?
We are desperate to be much more than high school famous.
Hello and welcome to High School Famous, a podcast where we will probably talk about high school, but hopefully we will not. I am Matt.
Hi, I'm Sean.
Hey,
Hey, guess what, Matt?
What?
Today's a special day.
Yeah.
You know this already, but I've lined up a special secret guest who is going to be jumping on as soon as I give the command. Do you have any ideas of who it might be? I'm going to message them right now to join.
I mean, there's a multitude of people it could possibly be, but in general, no. I'm only gonna rule out Eric.
Should you?
I mean, I'm going to just because he was already on, and you probably wouldn't do that.
Yeah, you know me too well.
Yeah. Other than that, I mean, there's quite a number of people it could possibly be. So at this point, I do not know, but I'm assuming I'm going to find out very shortly.
Sure. So, we met this person in the summer of 2003.
Summer of 2003.
We've hung out with them a few times, and we've gone to visit them for very specific reasons a few times, and we used to work with them. So I'm going to let them know to join.
Summer of 2003. Visited them for specific reasons.
Yeah, I found this specific year out earlier when I talked to them. I talked to them today, and we tested we did a little test run before.
Okay.
And here they come now.
Oh my god.
Hey, it's Scott McVeigh.
Whoa, what in the fuck? What's happening, man?
Hey, guy.
Holy cow. How you doing?
Surprised?
Very. I haven't heard from you in forever, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I'm good.
Awesome.
Good to see you.
Yeah, so I would not have guessed in a million years that's who you invited on.
I'm just glad you recognized me,
well, I mean, you do look very...
18 years, something like that?
Oh, God.
Yeah, it was 2003.
It's been a
Summer
while.
of 2003.
Yeah, it's been quite a while. But yeah, I mean, you definitely look, more heavily bearded.
That's what you do, right? Like, just...
Same.
You got a girl with a beard?
Me too, right?
Yeah.
Right, yeah. Sean's in between beards at the moment.
Yeah. I'm shopping around for a new beard.
Yeah. Awesome.
So the clues I gave Matt were very vague. I said that we met in 2003 and we used to work together, and we've hung out, and we've gone to visit you for very specific reasons. That's all I gave him.
They made it sound like a drug dealer.
Yeah. We didn't tell anyone exactly when we were visiting or why.
Right.
Just that we would be back in a little while.
And we never stayed long.
We never stayed long. No,
we didn't stay long. It's true. Yeah, because it was like just a couple months of the summer, like June, July, August. I feel like, but it seemed like a lot longer than that.
Yeah. It seems like we used to hang out a lot. There was a little chunk of time where I feel like we were hanging out quite a bit.
Right.
So just so everyone knows, should we do the news before we go deep into anything else? So Scott's aware of what this is.
Okay.
So it's time for us to update our listeners on our lives.
Yeah.
So as we all know, Matt wrote my news and I wrote Matt's news.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I'm already not looking forward to this.
So this will be our first time ever seeing these. So I'm going to read mine first. Hey everyone. This story takes place on a night just like last night, but absolutely nothing like tonight. Also, it's 4 p.m., so it's not really tonight yet. So maybe it will also be like tonight, but I won't know until later. I guess I could check the forecast real quick. Hold on a minute. Okay, let's see here. Interesting. I guess it will be like tonight also. About 23 degrees, mostly cloudy with a low % chance of precipitation. Not a bad night for the middle of winter in Minnesota, if I'm honest. And you know what I think I will be. Oh, and you know what? I think I will be. I think that's what it's supposed to be. In fact, I can't really complain at all about how the weather has been this winter. We got some snow, yes, but all in all, it has been very above average, almost more like a long spring. As an adult, I can really get behind this type of a winter, but as a kid, I would have hated not having piles and piles of snow to play in, making forts, having snowball fights, making snow persons. But now as an adult, I say screw with what kids like. I think I may have gotten off topic a bit. Matt, can you remind me again what I was talking about?
You were talking about something that was a night just like last night, but also tonight. So where were you going with that?
Oh, yeah. So, I mean, you know how I kind of went on that tangent about screwing what kids like?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, that's what I was busy doing last night.
Please explain. Please explain.
So, I've been busy screwing what kids like. And I think we're going to do that again tonight.
Screwing what kids like.
Whatever it means, it's going to take place in the corner I painted myself in.
I hate that I put you in this position.
So do the kids.
There's no corner in your circle room.
Yeah,
you're right. Yeah. I'm in. Oh, he's got me.
You can never paint yourself into a corner in
That's
a circular room.
you can probably. I guess you can paint yourself in the middle of it if you just keep painting in a circle.
I could do that.
Yeah, just keep painting in a circle until you're done.
Yeah. There you go.
I could paint myself so that the area that I'm in and the area that I'm not allowed to be in, there's always 6 degrees of separation too. Well, so I'm not gonna delve any deeper into what that means.
Yeah, please don't.
But I think it. Hey, so Matt, why don't you let us know what's going on in your life?
This is okay. So it's really long. What you wrote me.
Is it?
It's pretty long. Well, yeah, it's probably about as long as what I wrote you. But you already made me feel uneasy about it.
I did
by just saying that you wanted to go first. All right. So let's see here. So I got up the other day feeling fresh, looking fresh, smelling. Well, anyways, I look over at my wife, the fellow gentleman collector, and really saw for the first time just how I hate you so much. Pulchridonius, she is. It was quite jarring. So much that it took me a while to notice that she was discussing with the consanguineous people in her life about how polyphylloprogenitive she has been lately.
What kind of words are those?
I'm going to assume they're real.
They are all, yes.
All right, that's the first paragraph.
They're real and there's more.
Oh my God.
This made me a bit nervous, but I quickly fell into a state of skepsis, which I often do, obviously. But this time was different. It consumed me. I wanted more umbilici. I wish I knew what these words meant.
We can go over it if we want.
You must kill at Scrabble.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, most of these words you wouldn't have enough letters for.
No way. Not even close.
I knew that both consanguineous and non-consanguineous people were out of the question to fulfill this need, for obvious reasons. But the laws were fuzzy about xenotransplantation, so I pursued with a flutter. You're laughing because you know what this means.
Yes.
Gladly,
Sean's the only one laughing.
Yeah.
I mean, about the story. I'm laughing just at the whole experience.
Scott's laughing because he doesn't know what it means.
Yes.
Our entire audience has shut this off at this point.
You're not laughing because you have to read it.
All right. There was nothing to gain from my myromecophilia.
Stop.
In this venture, you know how myromecophilious I am. I mean, you guys
Very,
know. You
very-
guys, everybody knows.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
that I
obvious.
understand.
You can see it in my face. It was not long before the government, PETA, and other systematic organizations
Sympathetic.
sympathetic.
That's the word you should know.
I'm trying to burn through this at this point.
Okay.
Other sympathetic organizations were becoming a compounding collection of impedimenta. All right. It was driving me quite psychotomimic. Mimic? Trichotillomaniacal, even. If you do this to me ever again.
Surprise.
Plus my see, and this was the first one. I should have this one down by now.
Yeah, that's the first word you had to read.
Pulchritudinius wife was becoming more and more inquisitive. Ooh, I got that one.
Yeah.
But I had to explain myself in a tergiverous story fashion. Mm-hmm.
Sure.
What she didn't know was good for her. The authorities ended up closing in, though I barely noticed due to my enhanced, wait for it, fellow skepsis. I was taken in, found guilty of all charges, did my time, and now I'm trying to rebuild my life as a preventative measure. Okay. I have to have my umbilici removed. All of them. I'm not going any further with this. If you don't know what I'm already talking about here by just listening to what I wrote, no explanation needed. Yeah. This is a highbrow podcast. If you don't know, if you don't know what all this means,
this podcast is about, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's about horribly mispronouncing incredibly difficult to say words.
I learned a thing or two, like a word or two, maybe. I don't know what it means.
You
I would
may
say,
have learned them incorrectly.
How it's pronounced.
I would just say that you've heard some new words.
You've heard some new words.
You learned them because you don't know what these are.
And the new words that you heard weren't the correct ones that I was reading. You heard some words I was just making up.
Yeah. I mean, I could guess what they mean, but
sure, we don't want to do that though.
No, I can't even do that.
I don't know if we want to get right into just talking to Scott, or if we want to go through these words or not. Because if you scroll to the next page,
is there more?
Next page?
Oh
no, he doesn't have to read anymore. I needed to have these on the
there's words and definitions.
Yeah.
Pulchritudinius, or however you pronounce that, is physically beautiful.
I would say it's pulchritudinous.
Pulchritudinous. There was letters that I was just leaving out completely.
All right, so
or adding to.
So pulchritudinous is physically beautiful, which is how you were noticing your wife for the first time.
Gotcha.
I'm guessing this one's called consanguineous, which is basically your relative of the same blood or origin, specifically descended from the same ancestor. So she's talking to her relatives about how polyphiloprogenitive she has been lately, which is characterized by love of offspring. So she's your beautiful wife is talking to her relatives, most likely like sister, about loving offspring.
Gotcha.
But you couldn't pay attention, huh?
The band Offspring?
I love Offspring.
Oh well, I mean,
yeah,
you could say.
Welcome to the conversation, Sean.
The band.
All right. So omphaloskepsis is the contemplation of one's navel as an aid to meditation.
So I've heard about that actually fairly recently.
So you're basically
navel gazing.
You're navel gazing at yourself. Psychotomimetic is just relating to, involving, or inducing psychotic alteration of behavior and personality. So your obsession with this made you psychotomimetic.
Gotcha.
Trichotillomania is the abnormal desire to pull out one's hair. So once you were faced with a lot of impedimenta, which is things that impede, like things that are getting in your way of your goal, They were causing you to want to pull your hair out.
Sean, we all know what impede means, okay?
Yeah, Jesus.
Well, Matt had
I have that. I want to tear out my beard all the time.
Matt had trouble with sympathetic, so I'm not going to assume he knows. I'm not going to assume he knows.
I skimmed over it.
Yeah, right. Good call.
I chose my own word in that sense.
Yeah.
So when your wife was becoming inquisitive, you had to speak to her in a tergiversational way, which is basically not being clear cut and being a little vague in your explanation as to what you're up to.
Right.
So basically, what's the other one?
Turducken.
Yeah,
This is the other one.
Wait, xenotransplantation. Transplantation of an organ, tissue, or cells between two different species. So you became obsessed with navel gazing.
Mm-hmm.
So you realized you couldn't obtain the navels of other humans. So you started obtaining the navels of other animals and attaching them to yourself.
Gotcha.
But as an ultimate punishment, once the authorities got you, they had you remove all of your umbilici or your belly buttons that you had attached to yourself.
Gotcha.
So you were covered in your own belly button plus animal belly buttons, and then you were forced to remove them all. So now you have no belly buttons.
Not even my own?
No, not even your own.
What the hell?
Well, they don't want you they don't want you to seep into that state of omphaloskepsis again.
Gotcha.
As you often do.
You know so much about me.
I know.
I like also that you have the word at the very bottom, jackasseries.
I know. I didn't
the
use
actions
it though.
of a jackass.
I know.
Which now just describes you son of a bitch.
Well, I mean, yeah, you could say that. But based on what you, I figure based on what you were up to, you could describe that as use that to describe yourself. But I just looked up complicated words, and I found this list of
literally words. Literally, you Googled the phrase "complicated words."
Is there a word for complicated words?
There might be, but I didn't look that up. but I found this list of complicated words that have surprisingly simple definitions.
Right.
And I just looked at them. This is the full list almost. I just looked at them and figured out a way to make a story out of it.
Well,
a really good story.
Yeah,
thanks.
I do.
So that's what I was doing at.
Yeah, I officially hate you.
His friendship is over as of now. Okay.
Yeah.
This is the final episode of High School Famous.
I witnessed it.
Thank you for joining us.
Yeah. Matt got nervous when I said that I wanted to read mine first, so that I wanted him to go second.
Because normally it was just like, who wants to go? Oh, I don't care. You can go. Fine. But for him to proclaim that, I'm like, no, this isn't going to be good. It's not going to be good.
This is bad news.
Yeah.
Literally bad news.
Bad news. All right, well, Scott, that was that segment of the show.
And that was bad news.
That was bad news. Hey, there you go. That's what we can start calling it now.
That's not what this podcast is about, guys.
No. This podcast is not about bad news.
No, this is about how cool we are now.
It's about real news.
Post high school.
Yeah.
How awesome we are. So, Scott.
Oh, yeah.
You are from Canada.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
When did you move? When did you? Yeah, this is what kept our.
We're international now.
I know.
I bet you guys can't believe I haven't moved back yet.
Oh, I know.
Jesus,
holy cow. Wow, you must really love it here.
There must be something keeping me here. Don't know what it is, but
so this is part of what has kept Scott and my text conversation going over the years. Is when it's Canadian Thanksgiving, I'll text him and he'll text me when it's American Thanksgiving, and we'll just say we'll just text each other at random.
It's okay. Call it real Thanksgiving. It's fine.
Right? Yeah.
I do call it. I do say happy fake Thanksgiving sometimes to him.
There you go.
Because I don't know what that's about. But so, Scott, when did you move to the States, as they say?
I actually moved like the year before I met you guys in 2002, and yeah. So yeah, I mean, I can't believe
dual
it's been
citizenship.
No, I've been a permanent resident since 2003. So I moved here, I got a student visa, and then during school, I was able to apply for a green card with my dad, who had been in the States for work.
Oh.
And so I was kind of like, you know, I had basically a sponsor to basically like the process was very fast.
Cool.
Right when I finished school, I was able to apply, and you know, you just pay a bunch of money, and you know, background check, physical, fingerprints, photos. It's kind of like getting like a passport, like that kind of process. And then I've just had that the whole time. I think there's a thing where I think after 5 years of having a green card, you can apply to be a citizen, but really the only thing I can't do legally is vote. Because you know, there's all those illegals out there voting. Kidding.
No.
Definitely not me.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you know, so I never really wanted to go through with the process of becoming an American, because really there's not a lot of difference. You know,
Right.
There's not a lot of perks.
No perks right now, and even then, it was kind of like, well, yeah, I didn't see any reason to go through with it, and yeah, it's been fine. You know, I'll be a Canadian obviously forever. You just, you know, you renew the passport, and so yeah, that's about it.
Cool. So we used to work at a warehouse. Matt and I worked there as full-time employees after being temps first. It was called Archway. And then the summer of 02 or 03, sorry, that's when Scott and his friend Ryan started working there. And we got along right away, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
to like
from our
maintain our
perspective.
sanity of
Yeah.
Right.
We thought of it.
working in a place like that. Yeah, and as temps too, like me and Ryan just, you know, we fucked around a lot, but we got the job done because it wasn't a hard job.
Oh God, no.
But obviously
No.
as temps, like everyone is just like, you know, not the brightest. And so 'cause I remember,
Yeah.
I remember like people, you know, kind of dropping off, and there'd be like another drive. Like I think we started doing Levi's,
Right.
and then it was Target, right? And then like maybe what else was there? Labatt.
Yeah, it was,
yeah.
it was all
Yeah.
the InBev
Okay.
stuff, which
Oh,
they
sure.
don't have Levi or InBev anymore. They still have Target though.
Okay.
I don't still work
Yeah.
there.
No.
So Matt, how you
Yeah.
doing? You still at Archway?
No,
Cool.
I left
Cool.
Archway. I left Archway for like 4 years, and then I ended up going back for 6.
Oh,
After
really?
that, yeah. So I
Okay,
worked there
nice.
for an additional 6 years, and then I got laid off with like 60 other people that got laid off at one point in 2014.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, I was supervising for a while I was there.
It's at some point when I was still a temp, I left for a day, and because I was going to start working at this other place, like almost across the street. But then in the middle of my training shift at that new place, I quit and walked off the job, and then contacted the temp agency the next day and went back to Archway the next night.
Yep.
So, and then I got hired on, and I worked there for a few years, and then I got removed.
Oh yeah.
I was let go.
Oh,
I got into some shenanigans on a forklift, and they wanted to make an example of me because it was not long after a big safety meeting that the company had. Yeah, yeah. So they let me go.
Yeah, I just remember that
So
day.
I never went.
that
I never
day
went
that
back.
that day that you went to work at Reinhardt for the half a shift, and we were
Yeah.
all sitting at our apartment, which was literally right across from Reinhardt.
Yeah, literally.
So
across the street.
we're all sitting there hanging out, and then all of a sudden Sean just like walks up, like, "What the like? Aren't you supposed to be at your new job?" He's like, "Yeah, I just quit." We're like, "What the hell?"
Oh my God. Seriously?
Yeah.
That's funny. I'm glad to know that, because I had no idea, you know, we didn't keep in contact right after, you know, we left. You know, I think it was years later, Sean, that like I just had your number, or like, yeah, that's how we kind of kept up, right? It was like we text each other super randomly.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember when we first started to, because you would always talk about being in a band and that we should come check you guys out sometime, and I forget what led to us actually coming out and when that was. Like, were you still at Archway when we first came to see you guys play? Do you remember that?
That's a good question, because like, what band do you remember? What was it? Seldom Seen, or was it?
Was
something after that?
Yeah,
it was. Okay.
it was.
'Cause,
Yeah,
that-
when we met you, you were in Seldom Seen, and that's so when we first came to see you, that's who you were with.
Do you remember where that was at all? Because I can't.
Where
there was
the
a
show was?
few different places we saw you guys.
Well, I think
because you guys. I remember you guys coming out to shows, but I think we played at like Urban Wildlife. You remember?
I think
was it the Dinky Town?
We saw you at the Fine
and Dinky Towner.
Dinky Towner. We saw you guys, and I think Fine Line.
The Fine Line, and then
we did a Fine Line like a probably like a early weekday show, like a Tuesday or Wednesday.
And I think we saw you at like the one. Was it the one? Is it called the 100 bar or 300?
400 bar.
400 bar.
Yeah,
400
I
bar. Yeah, there. Cedar and Riverside.
Yeah, and so there was a few places. I know we saw you guys a few, like maybe 5 or 6 or 7 times. I don't remember.
Yeah.
I remember seeing you guys kind of all that. Maybe even at the Hexagon, or that was another group or something. But yeah. So when did that band form?
Pretty much during college, because I met all those guys through McNally Smith Music Tech at the time.
Yeah.
And even like Rob Schletty was one of the teachers there, and he joined because he recorded that album with us, and we did a lot of tracks at the school actually because we could do it for free, which was sweet.
Yeah. Why not?
He did like a couple live shows with us, but it was, we had gotten together, and both of the Jacobs had were writing songs like separately, and we were booking shows like while we were still in school.
Oh, cool.
And then I think that album was 2003, and then I think by 2004 we had kind of like dispersed and like it kind of ended.
Yeah, it was quick, but I don't know if that's
very quick.
Common.
And again, like it seemed like it was forever.
Yeah. Like I can remember the last show of yours that we saw. It was so fun. Like you guys were starting to play some new songs that weren't on that your debut album, and it was maybe the second time I had seen you guys when you were performing those new songs, and I thought they were great. I couldn't wait for a new album to come out, and the show was awesome. So it's cool that in a way, since you guys ended up splitting up, that show that I saw was the last one for you guys, because it was a really awesome show. So it was kind of a cool, unexpected way for it to go out for me anyway.
That's great that you remember that. And like, maybe we went out on a high note, because you're right. I remember like there was some new songs in the can. There's even one that was recorded that wasn't on that album, and I'm pretty sure that it's still around. The only person that I still like see and hang out with is Jeff, the drummer.
Okay.
And I'm pretty sure he still has that song, because I had actually forgotten about. There's one. It's like a decent recording, and I was like, "Damn, sounds pretty good." And and then unfortunately, like I just remember, everyone was kind of starting to do different things, or like play with other people and go out on their own, and and it's the way it goes. But yeah, it was fun while it lasted.
Right. It was cool. I remember thinking when that summer or whatever, that year that we were seeing you guys a lot, I was legitimately thinking about taking your CD and somehow getting it into the hands of someone who worked at like late night with Conan O'Brien. I wanted to. I'm like, these guys are so good. I'm like, these guys are good enough to be on, like, get a debut on TV and maybe even make it. So, but I knew I was going to have to. I knew I'd have to have. I know.
It's always the dream.
Always the dream.
I knew I'd have to get your guys'. I knew,
college famous, I guess, as it were. But
I knew I'd have to get you guys' permission. I couldn't just send it on my own without you guys like signing off on that idea. But I don't know how you guys would feel about that.
Oh no, you could have. We would have been like, oh sure,
yeah,
that's fine.
Now I remember hanging out with you guys, and for some reason Jeff was always super excited when I came around. And I don't know if it's just because my last name is Tattoo, but he was always super excited to say my name whenever I showed up. But
I bet that's why. Yeah, like the band, like TATU.
Yeah. Or yeah, sure, like that. They're I'm like them. They're not like me
in every way.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because I lived with Jeff and McNally in Northeast Minneapolis when we were working at Archway.
Yeah,
and I'm pretty sure, I don't know if you guys came over, because we would have parties all the time, because
I'm sure I was over
just gotten out of college, but it was still like party time. And
was that big house on the corner?
Yeah. Yep.
But honestly, I don't ever remember officially meeting or talking to the two Jacobs. I don't know even know if I ever if I ever met them actually.
Sure, yeah, like you guys were at the shows, but like just
we talked to you, and then we talked to Jeff after meeting him and Ryan and stuff. Yeah. So do you remember what? So it was just because people just got kind of interested in playing with other guys and didn't want to.
Yeah, it was like we were all like, in our 21, 2, 3 years old, and it just people wanted to do different things. It's like every band where it's just like, well, no, artistically, like I want to do this, other person wants to do that, or like this person, someone's not committed enough, or like you're lazy getting to practice. It's like, what do you want? And then it was totally like there was no like big fight or anything. It was just kind of just like, this is happening. People are doing different things, and no one wants to do this thing anymore. But
was there any one person that was sort of steering the ship for that group that was like, this is what our band is and this is what we are? Was there any, or was it all sort of, you guys all were sort of putting in?
Everyone had like, input, but I think, and I'm surprised, like, with two songwriters, because like both Jacobs, would come in with like full songs, lyrics, everything. And then like, we'd be like, work them out to put music to that we wanted to. But I think, it got to the point where it's like, I think we should go this way with it, and I want to go that way with it. And I'm surprised it lasted for not as long as it did, because it was a year, maybe a year and a half. But just for like two different, talented people like writing songs for the first while there, it was great. There was no fighting or just like this, that song is shit or like anything like that. Like we all just got along and had fun.
Yeah.
We didn't really have, I guess what I'm saying is we weren't really together long enough to get to a point of like, extreme differences, and like, but for how long it lasted, like it was magic for a minute, so there was never any, like, there was never anyone being like, this is what we're going to do. It was kind of like, we're playing, these guys would come in with songs and we're playing them. Like how they would want. And if like the person who wrote the song is like, I don't want to do that, let's do this. And it was like, okay, cool. So it was from that angle. Yeah. It was like whoever had the idea or the song down, it was like, this is what we're going to do. But I think too, like maybe part of it, why we stopped playing together was, we weren't like writing songs together, they were writing songs separately, and there wasn't a lot of like, we're just getting together and like jamming and then like a song comes out of it. I think it was kind of just like, we would get together and be like, well, what are we doing? Playing the same old songs, blah, blah, blah. And then someone would get tired and be like,
So how long after that did you become a part of Speed's the Name? And were you in that from the beginning, or did you join later? I don't really nothing about that project.
Yeah, I wasn't in it originally. I joined later.
Okay.
Because when McNally was starting that band, there was a few different guys in it. And I was like, me and McNally were obviously hung out all the time, and we just never had been able to come together in a band. We always talked about it, right? Being like, and I was always like, oh, I'm too busy. I'm in like these other bands. And like looking back at it now, I'm like, I don't know why the fuck I would say that. Like I should have been in as many things as possible, right? Like, what about busy doing what? Like, yeah, I was working, but I'm just like, I could have definitely worked it. But so anyway, eventually, so Speed's the Name made the first record with a drummer and a bass player that ended up quitting and moving to Austin, Texas, where actually McNally is now.
Oh, that's where he is now. Yeah.
Yep. So basically they lost their whole rhythm section at once, and I was freed up right around the same time, being like, I think the bands I were playing with were just like, whatever, not doing much or also breaking up. Cause me and Jacob Gruen from Seldom Seen, like we had a band right after that, and we made an album too, and like did some silly little tours like out west and stuff. And like,
which, all I know them as the Jacobs. So which Jacob is this one?
Jacob Gruen was, kind of the, I guess not the Soften the Impact Jacob, if that makes sense.
Oh, okay. So the Picture in a Pocket Jacob.
Yes, correct.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
And we, the band, it was It From Bit, and we made like a 6-song EP, and Jeff was the drummer in that band as well. And it, again, like I got to see some parts of the country that I'd never seen, and we played like shitty dive bars all over. And I think like the longest little stint we did was like 16 days, just out west, and came back, and it was it was great. But then, when I started playing with McNally and those dudes, it was like just such a different vibe. It was like not as like serious, and it was just more fun. It was more like a party, you know.
Oh, cool.
You fuck around. Like I just gelled with those guys so much more, you know, and obviously just like playing with a different drummer and playing with like different people. Then also from who I also met through McNally Smith, just being around them and being like, wow, this is a different vibe. So that's kind of how that took off. Like being like, wow, you guys just lost your rhythm section. And like we found an incredible drummer too, Andy Thornborough, at the same time. So we had joined Speed's the Name at the same time.
Nice.
So we'd been going to see the band, being like, you know, McNally was like my best friend. So like, yeah, like your band's playing, let's go. And then like, yeah, it was actually great. We're like, oh shit,
and you're in it all of a sudden.
You guys need a rhythm section. Like, let's go. So yeah, it was perfect.
Just so everyone is clear, McNally Smith is a music school that Scott went to with Ryan McNally, who was a member of Speed's the Name.
Yeah, no relation.
Not related at all.
Yes.
Yeah.
Good call, Sean.
Yeah. Got to clear it up.
I'll just call it music tech from now on, because, you know, that's what it was when we went there.
Right.
That'd be easier, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Perfect.
Yeah, I think it was.
And then you played with
still
Ryan.
music tech just before Josh ended up going there.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think when he
Ryan's-
went there, I think it's when it changed the name.
But Ryan's birth name is Tech, isn't it?
Oh crap! This is gonna be so confusing.
So, I mean, we got to maybe clean that up too.
His name is Tech McNally.
Tech McNally Smith.
That's like a Tech McNally is like a
man.
badass like 80s action star name.
Tech McNally. He's gonna punch through your soul. Oh, so how long was Speed's the Name a group?
When I joined, we made 3 albums, and I think we stopped playing together in 2013.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
or maybe right before 12, 13. So 7 years. I think 7 years total, like as Speed's the Name. But then, yeah, there's like, I think 5 or 6 with me and Andy Thornborough. And then, you know, too, like there was like a slight lineup change. Like we brought in Joe Downing, who played guitar and whatever else, when Andy Bembridge, our other like keyboard player, guitar player, had to move out of the country for work. So there was definitely like, so I guess you could say like Speed's the Name had like really like 3 incarnations.
Incarnations, yeah.
Yeah.
So how many people were in the group from the beginning to the end besides Ryan? Because Ryan's obviously there from start to finish.
It was probably, you know, even before it was Speed's the Name, like it was the same dudes kind of playing together. And so there was like even a different bass player that was before they made that first record. So, you know, there's 2 there, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I mean, at least 10.
Oh, wow.
I'd say about 10 total. Yeah.
Now, Matt, have you heard any of Speed's the Name?
Yeah.
Because I know I've heard at least that there's one song that I know I've heard, but I think there was I had listened to a few like several years ago at some point because I was curious.
I had heard a few off of like the first album really early on when it first kind of was happening. And then I think most recently the song I've heard was Holy Ghost.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the one you guys got that the video for it and stuff. And
yeah.
Yeah,
and all that stuff I'm pretty sure is still on Spotify and Apple Music.
Yeah, I know a lot of it was on iTunes. We've actually been
renewing the contract and just being like, you pay like a little bit a year and, you know, just to have it out there.
Right.
Yeah.
For things like this too. It's like, hell yeah. And like people still tell me like, and like whatever album is like, they were just like super into it at the time and still listen to it. And that's great.
Yeah. Anybody listening, check out Speed's the Name. Check out Seldom Seen. You can get the Seldom Seen full album is on, you can find it on YouTube.
Nice.
Oh, you can?
Yeah. Yep. I've seen it on there.
I do have kicking around extra CDs too. If you, if anyone out there still listens to CDs, pop in your blue disc player if you have to. But
your blue disc player,
Blu-ray. Sorry, pop in your Blu-ray disc.
That's what
player,
they call it.
Whatever,
they call it blue disc up in Canada.
Yeah, blue disc.
Yeah. It's a knockoff. It's a Canadian knockoff of Blu-ray.
Our blue disc players appear in Canada.
Oh, put it in your blue disc player, buddy.
Labatt Blue Disc.
Oh God.
So the the Seldom Seen album is called To Soften the Impact, and I have to admit I don't know the names of any of the Speeds the Name albums. If you want to rattle them off just to get people to check them out.
Yep. Well, the first one is self-titled, Speeds the Name, and it's great. Like, it's different than what we ended up doing. But yeah, I remember seeing those guys playing those songs live. Like, I remember one show specifically at the Triple Rock. Just amazing. Just a party record. And everyone said it sounded like Gang of Four and the Killers, which, nothing wrong with that. It was dance music. That's what those guys were making. And then after that, we did Swell, like the swell of a wave. And then Strangers. And then the last one was No Planets Exist.
Cool, man.
Yeah. And we're all super proud of all of them. And, we still, and actually, the project I'm doing right now, or have been doing for actually the last couple of years, is with Peter Remiger from Speeds the Name.
Oh.
And Nate Matson, who's the drummer who was in the original incarnation of Speeds the Name. I don't think they were called that yet. I don't remember what they were called. And Nate Matson, side note, recorded that video for Holy Ghost.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'm still playing with those dudes. We did one show at the 331 Club at the end of 2019. No, 18. Yeah, I think it was November of 18. Man, time flies. Just one of those Tuesday night. I can't remember what it's called, but anyone can go there and just kind of do their thing. Because we had at the time we had 4 songs, and that's all we did. It's just a 3-piece. But now we get together every week. We haven't been because of the recent shutdowns. We're just all right, let's just keep our distance, obviously. And, but we're about to pick it up again. And yeah, we have a full album of songs.
Nice.
And we throw in some covers, and it's just fun because at this point there's no pressure. We can do whatever we want. We're not trying to be cool or do things for the reason of man, let's be cool. Let's
get signed awesome and let's get
chasing fame.
Yeah, none of that. All that just doesn't fucking matter anymore. And really, it's just for us. That's we're playing in Peter's basement, and
chasing fame.
We want to play shows again.
Pursuit.
Who knows when that will happen? But yeah, it's honestly the most fun I've had playing in original band.
Our own thing. Definitely want to when you guys are playing. When everything goes back straight. When you guys are doing a show again, I definitely want to come see you guys then. Absolutely.
And also too, I should mention, since 2012, I've been playing with Mark Mallman quite a good amount. He has kind of a rotating cast. But I did a lot of really fun shows with him. Just kind of support bass player. And, he's a great dude. We've become really good friends, and it's kind of been the most steady gig I've had, paying gig. And it's just a riot because learning all his stuff, and it's just, he keeps you on your toes. The live shows are unpredictable. So it's just been an amazing learning experience playing with him. So yeah. And once we can play shows again, there'll be Mark Mallman shows, and I would encourage you guys to come see those as well, because they're a blast.
Yeah. If you're doing shows next time I'm in Minnesota, for sure.
Where do you live at now?
I'm out in Chicago now.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, that's why we're doing it this way. Where we're all, we're all on, that and social distancing.
That and everything. Yeah, I don't know if we'd be in the same room anyway.
I'd be in your face so hard. We'd be touching cheek to cheek.
We'd share a microphone.
Actually, that sounds great.
Yeah, sharing one microphone.
Yeah.
The good old days.
Yeah.
We have on one big pair of three-legged pants.
Making.
Yeah, the good old days when we used to always share microphones.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah.
Why buy 2?
So,
waste of money.
Expensive.
What are you, rich?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So do you do any full songwriting? Yeah. James J. Hill. Do you do any full songwriting yourself?
I do, not full, but I try and put down as many ideas as possible. Be they a bass line or a random chords on guitar or a drum beat. and then I just lay down what I can to just kind of get an idea. But no, I've never been able to I've gotten better at it, I want to say, or maybe more confident, but I've never been the one to like sit down and like start to finish with lyrics, because like lyrics, absolutely not. Like,
yeah,
I just can't do it. But with playing with Peter and Nate, it's really, there's like, again, there's no judgment. So like I can put down the biggest piece of crap and it sounds like ass. And I can be like, hey guys, this is what this is. Do you kind of get it? And then like bouncing that idea off them, they'll be like, what if we did this, this, and this? And I'll be like, okay. And then maybe it becomes something cool that we all like, or maybe it doesn't and it just fucks off. Because for me now, I'm just like, if I get something in my head, even if it sounds like something else, even if it's already been done, it's like, doesn't matter, because I'm not trying to put it out. It's just like, well, yeah. And then it's out of my head. Like I can get it down and be like, and then, it helps to listen back and be like, okay, that's what it sounds like. Because when you listen back to something, it doesn't sound like how it is when you play it or when it comes to you.
Right.
Sure.
So yeah, that's where we're at. Just no judgment, just whatever. If it works out, it doesn't. If it does, great.
Now, Matt dabbles in music a little bit as well. Yeah. I have a question about people who write music, because I know there's always figuring out the time signature that music is written in. When do you just come up with whatever you want to come up with and then count it out and figure out what it is later, or do you go, I'm going to write something that's 4/4 or whatever other time signatures there are? Like, do you think about that when you're writing it, or do you just write whatever comes to your head and you go, well, let me count that out and figure out what that is?
I personally don't think about it until I have to, because sometimes I'll get an idea that is in like maybe an odd time signature. And then part of the fun is trying to play what you're hearing in your head.
Yeah.
And it may be, very simple, and it may just be complicated enough to like make your brain like think a certain way, which is great. I mean, that's all you really want with an idea, because then, hopefully it makes you better, or it forces you to practice, right?
Sure. Yeah.
So no, I don't think about it until it's down, and then I'm just like, well, why can't I make 5/4 work with something else? Or like it's whatever I hear and then try and put down, and then like I don't think about it until after it's down.
Right. And then you say, here you go, drummer, you figure it out.
Yes, ideally. Yep.
Ideally.
You're the one who's got to make sure this stays on beat.
Yeah. Yeah. But for me, like, actually, like, I have like this electronic drum kit, and just that's actually easier for me to start with, is just like putting down some kind of beat. And it's usually, for me, honestly, it's always something that I've already heard, because the way my brain works with music is like there's always a song in my head. So I know that like what I'm playing is something else at this point.
Yeah.
I'm not purposely trying to like rip something off, but I mean, at the same time, like that's what everyone does. As long as you make it enough of your own to be like, hey, this is cool. Or like, as long as you're happy with it. Right. And you're not like I said, again, like you're not putting it out in the world for sale right now. It's like, oh, that sounds exactly like this band. It's like, sure. But like, that's what everyone does. And then hopefully you can take it to a place where it's your own thing.
It's like, have you listened to pop music? Like so many pop songs are the same chords, the same tempo, everything. It's ridiculous. You can literally like line up so many pop songs, and they're literally, you can take the lyrics out of one pop song, put it into a different pop song, and it would fit perfectly, because they're all this exact same thing. Yeah,
the formula is there.
Yeah, exactly. I had seen some video a long time ago about that talked about how in the world of pop music, how that's how it is. They have this formula set, and every song fits that structure. And because they know that a lot of people are just used to that, and they're fans of that type of music, and so they know what to expect, right? So it's just cut, copy, paste it into everything.
And it works.
Yep.
Yeah. Plus, like, everything is just dialed up. Like, there's not a lot of dynamics in it. All the meters are just pushed up to be louder and to get more attention, I guess. So it's sad.
Yeah, that's kind of the way it was for a while. Like, and I know it probably still is. But yeah, I mean, you look at like, every Backstreet Boys, Britney Spears, NSYNC song is pretty much the same, because it's all the same producer, and you're just like, but I mean, fuck it. If it's there to like get in your head and stay in your head, and that's why you buy it. And well, not buy it, but
yeah.
That's why. Yeah, I don't own.
I'm not buying any Backstreet Boys on vinyl right now.
I know.
That's the only way to listen to it.
Yeah.
So it's so much more pure that way. It's just you can just hear.
It's lossless,
It's like
right?
you feel like you're in the studio with them.
Yeah. It's just better. I don't know. It's just better.
Yeah.
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 That could be another ongoing running gag, Sean. Instead of it, the book was better. It could just be like, oh, it's better on vinyl.
The vinyl was better.
Yeah, the vinyl's better.
They left so much out of the MP3.
Yeah.
I have a question about vinyls that come out now, because would they not just be pulling from the same digital file that would go out for streaming? Like, how do you press a vinyl with music that's recorded these days? Would it be the same quality that you would theoretically get on an MP3 or a CD? Because I can't imagine
really good question.
They're recording in more than one format or whatever. They're not recording it in a well. Let's record it this way for the vinyl.
Let's record this on reel to reel and digitally.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I don't know, because I thought about getting into records and just like maybe buying a record player and buying records, because I never had that. I just don't know that if any records that are released present day, if they have that same quality that records did when they were the only medium that music was released on. I have no idea.
Yeah.
You're right.
You guys should know.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I want to say,
definitely.
obviously, like nothing will sound as good as it was back in the day because, the way you can record music now is so digitally, and you're right. But I think there is like a vinyl master, or there's like, maybe a band plans they want to put this record on vinyl, and the way they record it or master it is like a higher quality, or it's specifically mastered for vinyl.
Okay.
All
right.
And I don't know for sure, but I want to say that like you have the option these days. You can, with the same recorded product, you can like, okay, this is how it's going to sound digitally. This is how it's mastered that way. And then, whatever quality they have to do for vinyl, they're able to do that too.
Right.
Sure.
That would make sense.
Yeah. I see what you're saying though, Sean, because like, are you just listening to the digital
Am I just gonna,
master on wax, but still it's just like the way that's printed this day is like it could, you're right. And maybe some records are like that where I'm just like, does it really sound better? And like people always ask that, like, does it really sound that much better? But it's like, for me, I love vinyl, and it's like the whole act of putting the record down and like looking at the sleeve, and I still do that. So
see, I never got to experience that. I remember as a kid, I remember getting some sort of like mini record. It was like a 4-inch or something, and it was something to do with Gremlins, the movie. I have no idea what it was, but I remember having it. And so I guess that's the only thing I can call
just
back
the theme
to.
song over and over again.
I don't know. Is there a theme song for Gremlins?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah,
right,
we
let's
forgot
get that
Sean,
out on vinyl now.
Sean, when did you first see Gremlins?
Around December of 2019, so a little over a year ago.
Oh my God!
I forgot about that.
Yeah, so I don't have that burned in my brain.
Yeah, Sean just watched Die Hard a couple weeks ago, specifically so we could talk about it 1 week.
Yeah.
Any other like epic 80s movies that you missed out on that you haven't watched yet?
There's a list.
There's so many. We were doing a Zoom call with some friends a few months ago, and we started talking about, I think Matt pulled up a list of movies, like classic movies or something, and we went through, and I said no a lot when he was like, have you seen this one or this one?
It was
like
100 it was like 100 movies, and he'd probably seen maybe 20% of them.
Oh wow.
Yeah, like I've never seen these movies, these examples, I've seen bits of them, but I've never seen the whole movie start to finish, like Goonies or A Christmas Story or Princess Bride or Labyrinth or Lethal Weapon series or any Bond movie or Jaws, like none of it. So we're going to be doing that periodically on here. I'm going to pick a movie that I've never seen that is just so classic and everyone and their mother has seen.
Oh, that's a great idea.
It.
But you've watched the Lord of the Rings trilogy how many times in full length? The extended 13-hour long movie?
Well, honestly, no. Honestly, I've probably only watched those maybe I'd say max 3 times. I don't think I've watched those a whole lot.
Still.
Okay, but you could have fit a lot of
That's
diehards
so
in that
much.
time.
Yeah.
You could have fit like Revenge of the Nerds, Animal House. You know, you could have done like
Oh, I've never seen those either. Revenge
There
of
you
the
go.
Nerds. I think I've seen Weekend at Bernie's though. I think I've seen.
Okay.
I think I've seen that.
Oh,
But
perfect.
Have you seen
Classic.
Animal House?
I know I've seen parts of Animal House. I remember.
Okay.
I remember seeing parts of it. I think one time my parents were watching it on our TV, and I remember just in passing seeing some of it. So I know I've
that's a
seen
no.
bits of that. No, yeah, no.
Or like Fast Times at Ridgemont High. You seen that?
I've never seen that. I've never seen like Caddyshack or Matt. What's that Dangerfield movie where he's back in college or whatever?
Oh,
The Triple Lindy or whatever that move is.
Is it
yeah.
Back to School.
I think it's
Is it
called
just
Back
called
to School.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
That,
Back to
that,
college.
What's the movie where he
movie where he goes back to school.
Yeah.
Back to Music Tech.
Yep.
That now that I'm thinking about it, Billy Madison kind of ripped off in a way, wasn't it?
Oh, probably.
Yeah. I've never seen that. Yeah. I mean, I've seen Billy Madison though.
Well,
Yeah. But yeah, there's a whole bunch of those movies I've never seen that I plan to periodically say to Matt, "Hey, I'm going to watch this one," just to
Right.
give him heads up in case he needs to rewatch it to talk about it. Matt, he had no need to watch Die Hard
No.
again. I guess he's got a lot of that in his head.
I was like, I could do something else for 2 hours while you're watching that. And yeah,
Well, if you guys ever want to rap about movies like that, like I'm always down to come back and
oh
yeah.
I'm more
shoot
than
the shit
happy.
about-
More than happy to have you come back.
shoot the shit about those old movies because I love that.
We don't
shit
have to
too.
talk about all your dumb bands anymore. Ugh.
Yeah, enough about me.
Yeah. This is our podcast. Why are we talking about Scott so much?
Yeah, right. I don't know. I didn't have anything to say.
It's like a 30-second delay.
Yeah,
I'm also here.
yeah.
Hey, Matt, what part of Chicago you live in?
I'm in Chicago proper. Technically, the neighborhood of Ravenswood.
Okay, cool.
So it's just a little northwest of downtown. I'm like about.
It was named after a bird boner.
Yeah. There you go. I'm like about maybe 2 miles out from downtown, if that.
Oh, awesome.
It's pretty sweet. We were living in a different area for a while, and that area sucked. But now it's nice. Our area is
I agree.
very, very walkable. Sean was at my old place. It was
Oh,
boring.
funny.
There's nothing to
It
do
did
there.
have. It was very close to a Walgreens, which was awesome
Yeah, that was it.
because Walgreens.
Yeah.
Is it the Walgreens with the old safe in the basement?
Could be.
I don't know. Did this
there's
Walgreens
that
have a
one out there.
basement?
I think it used to be a bank, and now it's a Walgreens, and you can walk downstairs and
Oh.
you
Oh.
walk in the old big safe. You know what I'm talking about?
Does it have
No,
some old-
it's
there's
not. It's
there's a
definitely
bunch
not
of-
that one.
Okay. That's just all I think of when I hear.
It's full of old promissory notes.
But no, that place, it was like if we wanted to do anything, we literally had to get in the car and go somewhere because there was it was technically still Chicago, but there was just nothing going on.
Oh, it's
Yeah, but it
it's
wasn't too
called
far from
the
anything
Vitamin
cool.
Vault.
The Vitamin Vault.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'll have to check that out.
Yeah, if you live in Chicago, man, you should know.
I should. Damn it! I've only been here for it's almost 5 years now. I've been here.
Oh wow,
It was
Yeah.
it was cool one time I went to see him because we went to the Museum of like Broadcast History or whatever that
Yeah.
was, and there was this thing called the SNL Experience that was going on there. So we got to see a bunch of cool old SNL memorabilia, like costumes and stuff like that, and just the whole museum was cool. Seeing all that stuff from old time TV, like Howdy Doody and Bozo the Clown and all this weird old stuff, all these old cameras. It was pretty fun.
It was a
We
good
took some of
time.
the-
ZO.
We took some various colored lines to get there.
Red.
Brown,
Blue.
green. I don't remember what colored lines we took.
We took the blue for sure, and potentially I think the red. I don't remember. And I think a bus or two.
It's a big city.
Yeah, it's fun.
Do you think
I enjoy.
that's-
I mean, it's as fun as it can be during a pandemic at the moment. But It's
For sure. Yeah. Next time we're out there, I'll have to hit you up because.
Oh, for sure.
We did the drive, went and saw my family in Windsor, Ontario, last November. And that's the way we have to go is through Chicago. We stayed in Chicago actually a night because I got a good friend there and a couple friends there, but one specifically that we saw. And he lives a few blocks from the Sears Tower.
Oh, wow.
Right down there. So, but yeah, man, I can't wait to just be able to travel without, the virus in the back of your head.
Looking over my shoulder.
Yeah. Exactly.
Indeed.
Well, what do you think? We think we're wrapping this up, or
I think, yeah, sure.
Yeah, what's it been, about an hour here?
Yeah,
around there.
Good hour.
If I just in case we got a little dead, I wrote some rapid fire questions, but we can save that for another time.
Yeah, sure. For me or for Scott?
Well, I was kind of it was gonna be for both of you. I was gonna just rattle. I would be like, all right, Matt, this question, then you'd answer, and I'd go back and forth. But yeah, we can save that for another one.
Perfect.
Yeah, I'd love to come back. This is
for great. Sure, man. Awesome. It's great seeing you.
Yeah, and Matt, so can I just email you this track?
Yeah.
Or
you can
Dropbox or
we do. Yeah, Dropbox would work, or Google Drive would work.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll have since Sean's got your number, I'll have Sean give you my information.
Perfect.
Yeah, we'll sort all that stuff out.
We'll figure it out.
For sure.
Yeah. Hey everyone, this has been another recording of High School Famous, and we're done with it. Hey,
Bye.
I'm Sean.
I'm Matt. Yeah. Bye.
Yeah, and the guest was we'll stay on the call.
It's me.
Yay, it's Scott.
Yeah.
Bye everyone.
All right. Bye.
Yay.
Samuel Fusia, no me with the reply. Samuel, we need to wonder this. No, but there, who's much the master and hey, go fish, game, mash, business, and I was in the wolf, so I was next to Bill. I was the one up so for the heritage before her. So. Oh, see, Nick, some feeder,